Thank you, Deputy Chancellor. Deputy Chancellor, distinguished guests, members of the university, graduands, families and friends. It is a true honour to stand before you today as an alumnus of the University of Tasmania, a place, like many of you, where I first discovered that education goes far beyond lecture theatres and textbooks. University is an education, but not just an academic one. Extracurricular activities empower you just as much and are just as vital as the grades you've earned. So as you leave here, learn from the extracurricular activities you're involved in as well. The experiences you have had here, whether they be in the library at midnight, on the sporting field, in student politics, or like me at the uni bar, I have to say here as a bouncer, not as a drinker, are very empowering and will help you through your life. Those who have midlife crises in their 40s and in their 50s tend to be people who let life happen to them, not people who took control of their own life. Those who see life as a journey, setting the course through both choppy and smooth seas, tend to avoid those crises later in life. So as you leave from here, you have the choice to either have life happen to you, or you can set the direction of your life. It is about having the confidence to take control of your life and deciding the direction upon which you will head. It is for this reason that I hold an unusual belief. I do not believe that the best graduates from universities are hired and fired. I do believe that the best university graduates hire and fire their employer. If your employer is no good, fire them and go and get another one. Take control of your own life. When I sat where you do now, I could not have imagined the life journey I went on, from being a marine litigation attorney in Melbourne and London, to humanitarian negotiations in war zones, to sitting with survivors of conflict and natural disasters, or flying side by side with generals in helicopters across ceasefire lines, thinking to myself, how the heck did I get here, using a word other than heck. Looking back, I see how the seeds of that journey were sown right here in Tasmania's heart, amongst a community that taught me not only to be something, but to do something. To be is perhaps a job title. To be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be a farmer, to be a business leader. But to do is a philosophy. Which is yours? To do good, to do evil, to indulge, or do nothing much? That is what you must choose now. What is it that you will do? The then Senator Michael Tate, addressing law students in 1989, me included, said, "A law degree does not grant you a happy life and a wealthy existence. A law degree imposes upon you an obligation to use your skills for the betterment of other people." But it's not just a law degree that does that. It's any education. And indeed, it's the good fortune to have been born in Australia or studied in Australia that imposes that obligation to use your skills for other people. As you cross this stage today, a metamorphosis will happen to you. You will change. Never again will you be able to say you're in the global 99%. Your education and privilege that comes from it will put you in the global 1%. You now have to choose what you will do as part of that global 1%. What will you do with your privilege and history? And I beseech on you, find a way to use your skills for the betterment of other people. Betterment of other people, that is my do. I've been a business executive, a lawyer, a humanitarian worker, a traveller. I have visited every single country in the world bar one. Ask me later which one that one is and when I'm going to visit it. I've even been an author and a swimming coach. But those labels matter less than the thread that binds them. a drive to help, to witness, to connect, to serve, to learn, to never stop learning. So ask yourselves not only what you will become, but for whom and why you become it. After the Rwandan genocide in war-torn Yugoslavia, or coordinating relief for millions in the aftermath of the Kashmir earthquake, and tracing fathers of children born of abuse, I learned that comfort zones are small and that growth begins at the very edge of fear and adversity. You will in life face challenges and setbacks, and I say to you, embrace those failures, embrace the discomfort, embrace the unknown. In many crises I've faced, success came not from the most expert, but from those who were the most adaptable. In teams and individuals willing to pilot new methods, learn rapidly, and challenge bureaucratic inertia for the sake of lives at stake. If you do this, you'll be told no, you will feel unqualified, you might even be afraid. But remember, true change happens when you step forward anyway. In every successful endeavour, the key was not my knowledge nor my title. It was the humility to listen, the courage to trust, and the forging of partnerships across cultures and disciplines, relationships built over shared cups of tea, not just formal meetings. Never underestimate the power of those partnerships and the need for listening, but a very special sort of listening. Listen to understand. Don't listen to argue. Reflect on that. Listen to understand. Don't listen to argue. My proudest and hardest achievements have been my most recent. There is an urgent need for accountability in the global aid sector, where some sent to help have abused their power, leaving children born of that abuse. An ABC Four Corners investigation I worked on revealed the trauma and ongoing search for justice faced by many of these children. Using breakthrough science and legal work, we trace and identify fathers using genetic genealogy, hold them accountable, and secure children's rights, education, nationality, and identity. This is why I co-founded Hear Their Cries, which relentlessly pushes for exposure and prosecution of those who abuse and assist those who are left behind. This work faces many detractors, as you can imagine, but remains both difficult and fulfilling. The future is built by those who dare to care deeply in a world that yields painfully, slowly to change. The future is built by people who have moral courage. As Robert Kennedy said in his 1966 Ripple of Hope speech at Cape Town, the future is built by those who risk the disapproval of their fellows, the censure of their colleagues, and the wrath of their society. He went on to say, moral courage is rarer than bravery in battle or great intelligence. Yet it is essential for those who seek to change the world that yields most painfully to change. His words, spoken months before I was born, remain just as relevant to you today and the future that you will plan. You cannot do things alone, so find principled allies, the brave collaborators with whom you can use your education to risk censure but achieve success. You will then forge lifelong friendships, born in struggle, fight and success. And in that you will find adventures, friendships and triumphs that far exceed any monetary reward. Today, as you cross this stage, you inherit a world that perhaps now more than ever needs the curious, the compassionate and the brave. However, you carry not only your degree, but the hopes of those who taught you, the family who cheered you on, the community that is rooting for your success. Lead not only with your mind, but with your conscience. Choose to do as much as to be. Your real commencement, your real beginning starts now. Congratulations, graduates. Step boldly and change the world.